Good morning, to all our viewers. I am Michelle Vincent, the principal of the Thorburn School of Astrology, and with me is Thea, who works with me together with the Thorburn School of Astrology. And we also have another team member who is Isabella, and she's not with us today. But before we carry on, good morning, Thea. How are you today?
Hi, Michelle. I'm good, thank you. Morning, viewers, or afternoon, or wherever you are when you are listening to this.
Yes. So what we're doing today, the Thorburn School of Astrology, is its main aim is to bring astrology to non-astrologers so that people who are not necessarily into astrology but are just interested, that they're getting the advantage of the incredible information that is coming through to us astrologically, and that you might be able to begin to see if there's something that within astrology that might be of interest to you in the future or whatever the case may be. So our aim is to keep it simple. Our aim is to give you to bring down what is happening in the heavens from an astrological point of view, and to bring you tools so that you can better navigate your life, to navigate the challenges that we are all having one way or another, the questions that you might be asking yourself. And that is really and truly what the aim of the Thorburn School of Astrology is. In addition to which, if anybody does want to study astrology, we have a beautiful, wonderful course that has been developed by our mentor, Cynthia Thorburn, who has been a pivotal character in astrology in South Africa. So this is the continuation of her school. And yeah, it's fun to learn astrology because basically at the end of the day, you start off by learning about yourself, and that's always fun or shocking. But at the end of the day, it's quite electrifying one way or another. So our aim today is to actually look at the transits that are happening right now. We are in the middle of what was the new moon last week and the full moon, which is actually going to be an eclipse. It's going to be a lunar eclipse on the 17th. Yeah, the 17th of September. Yeah. And the eclipse is a whole other story, but we're not doing the moon right now. We're actually doing the transits and how you can, because eclipses are pivotal times in our lives. It's something that happens twice a year. It happens in different signs of the zodiac. It happens on different axes. And this time it's happening in the Virgo Pisces axis. And there's always something that then sets the scene for the next 6 months. So whatever we're doing now is leading us up to what's going to happen at the full moon, which we will do next week. And then that, in a way, starts setting a tone for yourself, you, the individual, for the next 6 months. So on that note, Thea, as we actually prepare and help our viewers get the most out of this recording, would you like to talk to us about what is affecting us right now, like today, for example?
Like today on this beautiful Friday, I'm happy it's Friday.
We all are.
Well, today, for instance, we have applying Sun-Jupiter square. It is still applying, which means the Sun is still moving towards the Jupiter. The Sun is at 14 degrees, Jupiter is at 19 degrees, which means it's still applying, but it will be exact at 19 degrees on the 12th of September. I feel with this square, we are dealing with kind of like a double-edged sword, if you want to put it that way, because you might feel lucky and overconfident, and there's good fortune where Jupiter is, but you can also be dealing with loss and embarrassment. And, if you're too overconfident, maybe you'll get like just put in your place a little bit. I feel like the best way to handle this transit is to keep it moderate, to be respectful, to be disciplined, and to try and focus on one thing at a time rather than everything that is in front of you at the moment. Because I feel that with Jupiter and expansion, you can go there, 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 there. You want to do this, you want to do that. But I feel like it's going to be much easier to handle if you focus on one thing at a time, apply self-discipline, apply moderation and understanding with this square, because I feel like you can put a lot of strain and it can get draining, this energy, if you're going to try to do too much at once. And yeah, I feel like this is going to like can be very draining. And then there's also the possibility of overindulging, you know, like maybe you'll go a bit overboard this weekend by drinking, partying, you know, but like please keep it moderate. I feel like I have to say keep it moderate.
So in other words, when we're talking about keeping it moderate, Thea, we're talking about the Virgo part of it, aren't we? The Virgo part of it, which we spoke about with the new moon, in terms of be more cautious, be more discerning, be more discriminating in terms of your interaction. Because Jupiter is the benefic and it brings good fortune, at this point in time, don't get carried away on a verbal level with communication or anything like that. And as you were talking, Thea, one of the things that came up for me is the sun represents the masculine, and Jupiter is a masculine planet, and they are in Virgo and Gemini, which is all about being discerning and discriminating and being analytical. So I think you brought out a beautiful point there in terms of people just do one thing at a time. Do the one thing, complete it. Then do the next thing and complete it, because otherwise it would be very easy to get into overwhelm. So that would be something that people would watch from now, which is the 6th of September, until the 12th, because when it gets to that pivotal point in on the 12th, where they are exact, it's almost like, well, that's the culmination, and then it starts to ease off from there. So from now until the 12th, just be mindful of sticking to the point, focus. Mercury's out of retrograde, focus, and one thing at a time, and just be discerning that this is what you should be doing as opposed to wasting your time, because this will bring you value in your life. Great stuff. And now we've also, I believe, got a sun that's going to be opposition to Saturn. Would you like to speak to us about that, Thea?
You would like me to speak about that, right?
Especially the fact that it's going to affect your life directly.
Very much. That is also applying at the moment and will be exact on Sunday, which is actually quite cool because Sunday is the sun's day.
Nice.
You know, we might still, I mean, opposition at the end of the day, I feel it's a very internal thing. You know, that is you, and you might experience some restriction and hardship and worrying, like you might worry and deal with grief and loss, and I mean, and our authority, our relationships with authority figures will definitely be highlighted, like your father, any authority figure, and or older people in your life, because it's the older people. It might also, you might also find it difficult to express yourself. And Michelle, you gave me such good advice, Nana, by saying like, you have to stand back. I feel also like, and this is not me, you didn't say that, like being the observer, rather maybe in a situation, rather than go out and just say whatever you want to say, or express yourself. I think it's going to be not easy expressing yourself in a way, because of the limitations and the restrictions that Saturn brings. But then again, Saturn brings also discipline. So maybe you can find yourself in a situation where you're observing the situation and you find that inner discipline for not reacting. Or maybe, because we all know Saturn is a very karmic planet.
Yes.
And this is it's our sun. It's Saturn. Just give your dad some love.
So, yeah, would you say, like, for all of us, the sun is in Virgo right now, and the message of the sun being in Virgo is basically saying to all of us, this is the time for caution. This is the time to look at your diet, to look at your health, to look at your daily routine, etc., etc., etc. It's also the time of communication in a structured type of way. Saturn in Pisces. So we've got the planet of restriction in Pisces, which is all about flow and no restriction at all. So the Pisces might want to be the one that just goes blah. So for all of you, you might be having a conversation with authority. That could be your father, that could be an older person, that could be your boss, that could be our government, that could be your fight with a municipality because they the authority. So it could be moving, it's still affecting you on a personal level. So you might want to just go blah and get all irritated because your freedom is being taken away from you. But just step back, look at the facts, only present the facts, because this is the time in this next week, up until Sunday, only present the facts, okay? Because otherwise it could get very messy. Would you say that that is true? It could get very messy?
It could get very messy, I agree, especially with the Mercury square to Uranus still, the chances that we are going to be like snapping it out like that is huge. And we have to keep in mind that Saturn is still in retrograde and we still are busy reviewing a lot of things.
Yes.
So to make a decision now based on whatever you are experiencing through this opposition would almost be foolish, because we're still in that transition of reviewing and where we're at. So I feel like it would be better to just observe. And with this Mercury and Uranus square, even though we get all these bright ideas and innovative thoughts and breakthroughs and everything, we still have to just watch our tongues a little bit. The one thing I also want to say...
Carry on.
No, go for it.
I want to say that that Mercury is fast and quick. Uranus is electrifying. So believe you me, the caution that you are wanting to put into any conversation that you're having right now, Mercury and Uranus are going, oh no, we don't want to be careful here. We don't want to be slow. We don't want to listen to this whole thing about caution. We just want to go out there and make our point known.
Yes.
So you might be very quick to react. And that is what we're wanting to caution the viewers against, because Mercury and Uranus are all about communication, the higher mind, quick reactions, etc., etc. And that could work against standing back, being the observer, doing the right thing. It might just want to go in there and...
Well, luckily, Uranus is in retrograde, so it might slow it down a little, but just giving you that few seconds to think about it before you open your mouth. Maybe.
Okay, but my instinct is saying not maybe at all.
Like, no, it's still not.
The reason being is that we must remember that wherever our personal Uranus is, okay, and it's in retrograde, we've been dealing with some of these things for a long time.
Mm.
Okay. And because we've been dealing with it for a long time, we're getting almost to the end of the road. So we want to be finished and clear with things.
Oh,
And
yes.
so therefore, we really need to step back and just be, is this a relationship? If this relationship or this situation, this job, this whatever it is that's coming up for you, if this is a finished and clear type of situation, am I okay with that? Because if
Yeah.
you're not okay with it, you are actually not working in your own favor. And the whole thing about astrology is to use these tools so that you can always be authentic and speak your truth or be in your truth. But being in your truth means that you also know what relationships are important to you. And that's where we have to that's where we have to adjust. That's where we have to actually just be a little bit mutable, not so set in our ways, and just adjust to that relationship only because that relationship is important to us.
Yes, and we did mention it with the new moon as well, you know, like this is a time where we need to be discerned. We must practice discernment and everything, and what does and doesn't align with our goals and going forward, and what needs to go away. So we need to really be sure before we approach a situation, like you said, Michelle, is whatever the outcome is of whatever I'm going to say or do, am I going to be happy with the results? Does it fall in line with my goal and whatever it is I want to do with yourself and everything? If you're happy with that, speak your mind.
Yes.
But no. I just also want to add another caution with this Mercury with a square is fake news. Like AI generated videos that might seem like John said this because there's the video, it's proof, but then it's not John, it's an AI generated video to fool the masses or whatever. I feel like we can experience some of that fake news things.
Wow, Thea, you've actually brought a very important point up right now. And the reason why I see this as really important is because with Pluto moving back into Capricorn to that 29 degrees, and as we've said, 29 degrees is a critical degree. And this is the last throes of that authority, and which means that the fake news could be coming at us even stronger, even more manipulative. Because as much as Pluto is the planet of regeneration, something has to die in order for something to be reborn, it's also very manipulative. And oh my God, it's sextile to Neptune, which is also very manipulative, you know.
Yeah.
So I think if I had to give some cautionary to our viewers right now, it would be going along the way of right now, in terms of that point that you brought up about fake news, just remember that there might be a play in manipulating us into thinking of new ideas, or that this is the truth. And that can be on that very small level, what you said, Thea. My friend John said this, and here's the video, and here, look, it's got to be true, as opposed to what we're seeing on the news, as opposed to what we're seeing on the bigger arena of the global world. So, and that brings me to a point over here. So, is there anything else that you would like to add? Because otherwise, that is bringing me to a point where I just want to say to everybody that the full moon that we had in August at that 29 degrees of Capricorn was pivotal. It was the moon, if I remember correctly, Thea, it was in a T square to Uranus. And this is what's amplifying Uranus, the planet of change, the planet of the higher mind, the planet of consciousness, the planet of technology and AI and all of these things. And that 29 degrees, as I've just said, is a pivotal point. It's called the anaretic degree. And there's almost this last grasp. We've got to get it right now. So it started there. We then had this new moon where again we had these planets, the outer planets affecting us, okay, in the new moon. And all I can say is that from now being September until towards the end of November, more specifically the 19th, 20th of November, guys, we are in for a very interesting time. And if it's going to be interesting, we're going to be getting all of the stuff coming at us from all sorts of different ways. But what you need to remember now is that we've got 5 planets that are retrograde. So the transpersonal planets, in other words, they're affecting us on a global level, are the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They are all retrograde right now. The planet of restriction, Saturn, is retrograde right now. And Chiron, the wounded healer, is retrograde right now. So we've actually got 5 planetary bodies that are very, very retrograde right now. And retrograde is all about reflection, reviewing, going within, using your meditation, learning to trust yourself. So I was thinking about this statement the other day about going within and learning to trust yourself. We haven't been conditioned that way. And although this is a theme that has been with us literally since 2020, that we needed to go in and we needed to start trusting ourselves more than trusting the bodies, the governments outside of ourselves. Yeah. We didn't know where to start. What did it mean to trust yourself? Because we had been so conditioned by the authorities, by those who knew better than we did.
Yeah. So, since the beginning of time, we've been conditioned like that.
So now we've been going within for quite a while now. And somewhere along the line, you are beginning to get that feeling. And I think that for me, one of the biggest messages about where we are right now and with these planets going retrograde is the following. Let me see if I can get this right. Well, not right, but let me see if I can express it in the way that I want to express it. We're going to go within. We've got all these planets saying that we need to go within. And when we go within, we're moving away from the dialogue of diversity. We're moving out of duality. Duality, remember, was introduced to us to separate us from oneness. And therefore, we needed another authority to actually connect little me with the higher power, with the greater scheme of things. We needed that intermediary, which was very well serviced by religion, okay, and type of thing. And now over the last while, we are being asked to actually say, but that created duality, that created a right and a wrong, that created a hot and a cold, and that in a way almost created fanaticism, because I've got to be right, because if I'm not right, my world doesn't make sense. So there's that. Right now, this whole thing about going within is all about us getting into oneness. It is about how you are creating your self in your purpose, in who you are as part of the oneness, because there's a beautiful word going around at the moment in other spiritual circles called it, we are all fractals. We are all fractals of the greater whole, of the oneness. And within being a fractal, we all have our unique purpose, our unique talent, our unique gift.
I always say it's like the sun with all its, the sun being the wholeness, and the sun rays is each one of us expressing ourselves uniquely.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's it. That's where we are right now, folks. That is this retrograde time with these 5 planets, and especially the fact that Pluto is still sitting in Capricorn. There's 2 things that for me come up so strongly. The one is that the planets are giving us this amazing time to go back and further refine our knowingness of ourselves. Because we didn't know how to do it, because know yourself, what the hell did that mean? Because we've had to go through these trials and errors, we now refining. Who am I as a fractal of the oneness? What is my special purpose? And the planets are giving us that together with our outer world potentially becoming more frenetic as it tries to grab on and hold the last vestiges of power.
The thing is, we were taught since forever to look outside of us for answers, for guidance, for anything. You look outside of yourself. That is how we grew up. We have to go to God with something. We have to pray about something, which we do. We have to go ask our teacher, whatever. We have to go to our astrology. We have to go to our tarot reader to know. But we do have all the answers within us. We just don't know how to access it. That's what I said to the one lady I did a tarot reading for, and we were done. I'm the worst tarot reader for telling people that, but it's okay. So we did the reading, and she said, but I knew this. So I said to her, that's the thing with tarot reading. You already know the answer. The fact that you come to a tarot reader just shows that you already know the answer. You just want confirmation. So you want that external something to show you what you're feeling inside, or what you know inside already. You know. So I will chase all my clients away because I tell them, you know the answer. It's within.
The thing is, Thea, that even though we know the answers, I mean, I had to take something through you this morning to just hear myself say it, because this has been a very challenging relationship for me, and I needed to see if there was still energy there. I needed to just actually express myself about that, to see, oh my God, am I going to burst into tears? Am I going to have a meltdown because of this? Because by just, and getting that confirmation, for example, from the tarot reader or from an astrology chart, actually confirms your knowingness, because we're learning how to do this.
Exactly. So that is what I wanted to say. Just know it is a tool. It is a tool. So once you go for like 3, 4, 5 readings, and you're like, okay, but I know these things, I know these things, then you know, okay, I don't have to go to a tarot reader, because guess what? I know.
Yes.
You know, like it's a tool. As long as we know that our external things that we use are tools, it's not our beginning and our end, and we cannot go without it. It is just tools.
Yes. No, absolutely. So just getting back to this whole thing of, I don't know where our viewers are in terms of their journey. Some people might have only just started learning to trust themselves more, going within, beginning to realize that authorities are not necessarily right. And so we all at different stages of our journey. But I think for me, what I really want to bring to you at the moment is that the planets are working with us to transition us into the higher consciousness, to transition us out of duality into the consciousness of oneness, into the unity consciousness. And what's amazing about this is that it's the unity consciousness, it's the oneness that Pluto in Aquarius is going to be all about. So from the end of November, we need to start understanding what is this unity consciousness? How does it differ from everything that we've actually known before? Where am I in terms of understanding myself as a fractal of part of this? Because it's not me and God as separate anymore. It's me as co-creator with God in terms of my life and my reality.
For sure.
And although I haven't spoken astrology here, all of what I'm saying right now is beautifully being supported by astrology. In other words, I can go into the analysis of this and actually tell you about the astrology. But rather than do that, let's embrace this time. So as much as you still want to go out there and make something work and make something happen, my advice to you right now is that rather carry on going within, rather carry on reflecting, refining that which you still need to refine, because the time for it coming out into the open is just in a couple of months' time, you know. So it's not forever, but this is really the time. And I think, Thea, that as we are in this time of actually reflecting and reviewing, because of all these 5 planets being in a retrograde, I just lost the thought. It was quite a good one. No, it's gone. Okay, but yes, it is a reflective time. We still need to watch everything that's happening, and in addition to which, our next recording is going to be on the full moon, which is going to be an eclipse, and that further adds to all of this that I'm saying right now.
And it's the first eclipse for the Pisces Virgo axis.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because we've been having it in the Aries Libra axis. And so Theo, just very quickly, what on the Pisces Virgo axis, how would you just, oh gee whiz, how would you describe that? What are we looking at when we're looking at the Pisces Virgo axis in terms of the eclipse?
Well, we obviously it's a health axis, the Virgo, and Virgo being our daily routine and our daily things we do at work, our routines, our health. And then Pisces is your more spiritual side, a hell of a lot less analytic, you know, like thoughts comes and goes. And it's also, it forms part of the health axis in terms of hospitalization and or institutionalized. Like I feel with the Pisces axis, it's a lot about your mental, maybe your mental health, as to where Virgo would be your physical health. I might be wrong. I mean, Mercury is the planet of the mind, which is ruling Virgo, and which also brings all of that anxiety and things. But the thing with eclipses, it's major endings and major beginnings.
Yes.
So we might experience a lot of that. But I mean, I'm sure we're going to do a whole video about that.
We're going to do a whole video, but the thing is, all I want to say right now is that that is literally going to be happening on the 17th, and we're now on the 6th. So it's not that far in the future. Let's do whatever work we need to do now, because that eclipse is bringing us back to exactly the same thing of what I'm talking about. Virgo is conservative, it's your daily routine, it's everything. Pisces is all about the oneness. It's all about becoming one with our maker, being the fractal. So Virgo is almost like the fractal, or how the fractal is living its life out on the earthly plane, and Pisces represents that oneness, so it's the spiritual side. So for me, just talking about it with you now, Thea, is that this eclipse is going to again bring about how we are working within these two different realms at the moment. The one realm of the physical body on physical earth, and how we need to operate in this environment, and the other one equally, we're doing it all at the same time, is actually the spiritual, and realizing that we are all one, and that is going to build the communities of what we want to have happen under the Pluto in Aquarius. What do you say to that? Oh, that was quite insightful.
Yes, it was quite insightful. Because I just wanted to, while you were saying all of that, wanted to ask you, like, when do you think is the age of Aquarius officially starting? I mean, I know we're not in there, but we're so close. Would it be when Pluto is in there for good? I mean, because all of this is preparing us for when Pluto is in Aquarius.
So Thea, my answer to you would be this. In astrology, nothing happens. There's always this prelude. There's always this time before. Like we get prepared for this stuff, you know.
When it's applying.
Exactly. There's this applying. It's the prelude. It's the introduction. And then, so we're going to be right at the beginning of Aquarius, but we must remember, the Aquarian age will start off with the I forget that term right now. You know it. No, I've forgotten the term right now. But what I'm saying is, we've got to remember that the Jupiter, the grand conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn was at 0 degrees of Aquarius.
Yeah.
In December of 2019, on the 21st of December 2019.
2019, yeah.
So that the grand conjunction always gives us the theme for the next 20 years. So if that was happening now at 0 degrees of Aquarius, there's a part of me that's saying, and I mean, all around the world, we're getting these communities that are starting up now. That's for the people. It's for the collective. It's about we changing our thinking. And so when does all of this start? I think we are being prepared. When will we be right in the middle of it? Somewhere within the next 20 years, and then we're going to move out of then Pluto's going to move out of Aquarius and then into Pisces. But I'm not going to be alive then, so I'm okay.
I don't care. But it's interesting if you take it with that conjunction, which makes sense, because so now we look at what happened. We all went into lockdown and it became pretty draconian in a sense. So what are we dealing with now at the moment? You've got this bunch of people that wants to break away and is breaking away and is forming their own communities. And then you get these people that falls within the draconian rules and setup, and they're happy there. So it's going to be very interesting to actually see how it plays out, you know. Is it going to be like in the movies where these draconian people is living above ground and these other people are living underground, doing their own thing, and, you know, like, we will only time will tell.
only time will tell. which is coming back to the whole thing of hold yourself. Go into yourself, know who you are,
where your power comes from.
Know your authenticity, that you are important. You are important no matter what type of life you've lived. You are important, and you've got something important to contribute towards life, towards whether that life is happening in the microcosm of your family, your job, whatever. But as you refine yourself, you begin to have an influence. Energy has an influence then on that which surrounds it. So start surrounding yourself and having an effect on your environment. So Thea, I think we've looked at the transits because all of this is being supported by astrology. But we've gone broader. We've gone into a broader consciousness. But I think that will be enough for now before we actually do the full moon in a week's time. What closing statement might you have for our viewers?
I just quickly want to mention that Mars moved into Cancer today. Yes. So over here, I got a few things that I wrote down, like now we have to watch our moods, because it is Mars and it is Cancer, so we might be driven by our moods. You might do and say things when you're angry, or now you're angry and you feel this way, now you're relaxed and you don't feel this way anymore. We're dealing with a lot of push-pull energies here for a while already, and also the chances that you're going to be very protective of your people, your home, your children, the way you nurture, and defensiveness might also come up there with this. I think we're going to be very defensive over the things we care about. Yes. Whether that's our opinions or our people.
Yes, yes, yes.
So in closing, just moderation, respect, self-discipline. That's and I'm speaking louder to myself than anyone else. That's my message to me.
Right. Yeah, thank you for bringing up that Mars in Cancer. I think that is important. Maybe we can do a quick video of it during the week to actually
because this is the preparation for the retrograde, the Mars retrograde.
Yes,
the build up.
It is. And Mars is the planet of action. Cancer is the planet of it wants to retreat. It wants to stay within its community. So yeah, I think that does actually deserve some attention for the fact that it's just gone into Cancer. But on that note, I'd really like to just say to everybody that right now, what astrology is telling us over and over again is that we need to see the big picture. We need to free ourselves from what the perceived enslavement of the past and know that we are one. We are all one. And whatever the one person does, it actually does affect the next person and all the rest of it. And that this is the time to actually refine the work that you've done to date. And even if you've done nothing to date, maybe today is the start of you doing something. And on that note, I'm going to say have a wonderful week, and we will see you for the full moon. Take care and love to all. Bye.
Bye.